The US President Donald Trump has hosted the Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for talks on Iran. There are simmering tensions there, and it seems there is disagreement on whether or not the US can strike a deal with Tehran. Let's go to Washington correspondent Jonathan Kersley. He's outside the White House for us. A little bit chilly. Sorry, Jonathan. Sorry to keep you waiting. What has President Trump said after these discussions?
Laura, it's all very warm down here. I don't know what you're talking about. Look, President Trump has essentially said that there's nothing definitive that came of these talks today here at the White House. It was interesting to note, no cameras, no fanfare, no great big press greeting for Benjamin Netanyahu as he arrived on the western side of the White House, just a matter of a couple of hundred metres drive from Blair House, where foreign leaders normally stay when they come to visit the President of the United States. He made his way inside. They sat down for around about 2.5 hours and discussed Iran, obviously at the top of the list, given the US has sent an armada there, and there's been concern about domestic issues inside Iran with the rising domestic tensions, but also the rising international tensions. President Trump has put a lot of pressure on Iran to back down on three key aspects of its own system, and that is largely nuclear enrichment. He wants Iran to also walk away from supporting proxies in the region, and likewise wants them to step back their stockpiles of ballistic missiles. That is something that Israel wants, but it has more demands. It wants President Trump to take those demands on board in his talks with Iran, and it seems that's where the sticking point lies. We did hear from President Trump directly on Truth Social after this meeting took place, and in part what he's trying to do here, Laura, is essentially use diplomacy.
No one can do even the smallest thing against our missiles. Our missiles are not part of the negotiations, and they won't be.
So we didn't physically hear from either leader, President Trump or Prime Minister Netanyahu, in front of a camera here at the White House today. We did see President Trump a couple of hours later emerging as he pushed domestic coal-fired power issues in boosting America's own War Department and America's own armed forces, presented not only by a group of individuals, miners with hard hats, but his own statue as a keepsake of a day when it was not only domestic issues, but foreign issues that were certainly high on the president's agenda, Laura.
Jono, thank you. Appreciate the